And just like that, family, we have finished another amazing journey of watching the finale of the second season of the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You anime. It's already been about a week already since the final episode has aired, and I'm crying from first and foremost, how the final episode really did not disappoint, right? It has given me even more hope and just proves just how much love is poured into this work and how it truly is the GOAT of an anime adaptation to a harem series, right? And second of all, even though that I'm caught up, right, with the manga, and I'm still much into the Hyakkano hype, as your boy fam, right? I mean, it feels just sad, and yet it also brings me tears of joy, right? Because I really will miss those days, and I'm always so excited to look forward to when a new episode will come out, because it just felt like it could have continued on releasing more and more of these episodes. And well, although we don't only look forward essentially to the following week for the next episode, right? But also waiting for the next chapter to come out, right? There's always something to look forward to in the future, a reason to continue smiling, because this, fam, is only just the beginning for something really more, right? Again, tears of joy. I'm crying tears of joy because of how great and how amazing this really is. So yeah, let's talk about the final episode, fam. Now, continuing off from last time, right? Just a quick recap, which they even did in the episode, recapped by the the shrine god. Karane took a kusuri drug that made her lost her tsundere-ness, right, her tsundere personality, due to some internal self-conflict that she has with herself, right? And now Rentaro has found a way to bring her tsundere nature back after spending the night with the at the Hanazono household. And yeah, it is a good plan that he cooked up for real, right? At least, in theory. Now he's gonna test out if it actually works, and well, here it is. Actually, before we get into how they were able to manage to, solve or bring back Karane's tsundere-ness, right? A genuine curious question to the non-manga brothers and sisters out there, right? Or the anime only watchers out there. At what point have you sort of disregarded this series as a quote-unquote normal rom-com? Because I mean, yes, okay, in the first episode alone, right, it showed us the shrine god and the supernatural concept of the world of Hyakkano, right, about the nature of soulmates and the like, right? But you would expect it to be sort of a subtle fantasy, right? Sort of fantasy element, kind of like with, for example, Rascal Doesn't Dream of a Benagirl Senpai, for example, right? There are supernatural elements to it, but it's still heavily grounded in a sort of very modern or contemporary world settings, right? A low fantasy type of story, if you will. But for Hyakkano, sure, the shrine god, Kusuri's transformation drug potion, right? Fourth wall breaks, count that in as well. But when you reach this sort of point when you have already like tsundere energy waves / auras, right, and conjuring said energy into a a tsundere bomb, right? That you're watching just more than just a regular harem rom-com where heroines don't lose, right? You are watching, fam, the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. A beast of a story with just all of these elements that really stick out, right? Pure, genuine, unfiltered love defies all logic, and boy, they really executed so well. Going back to to the story, right? You have the Renter family each produce their own tsunderes, right? By acting, tsundere. Rentero channels it all together and transfers it to Karane, right? And I just really love the way that they all went out to emphasize that Dragon Ball reference straight out. The fact that they even took the liberty to animate the girlfriends, right, in the Dragon Ball characters' costumes references, right? Absolutely mad. They didn't do it in the manga, but I'm so glad they did it here, because god damn, it's wow, just amazing indeed. Hey, look at Kusuri. I love it. And when the time came when all of the girls expressed their tsundere lines, right, when they said their tsundere like remarks, Oh god, it's absolutely very, very cute. Everyone has voiced their lines so perfectly tsundere that I just really, really love it, right? It's a whole new sort of fresh face to the character, of course, needless to say, because they're acting, tsundere, and I find that sort of gap to be very, very cute. Case in point as well, with Nano, for example, she absolutely killed it, or nearly killed Rentaro by how robotic she sounded, or how deadpan she sounded, which was, yep, very, very cool. And I also really love how cute it was when she tried to turn it around by acting, by putting a bit more of emotion, which still sounded kind of robotic, but it's very, very cute. I really love it. This entire thing, a tsundere matsuri, a tsundere festival indeed, of charming girls expressing their love to Rentaro. It's absolutely beautiful, and yeah, that part always gets me. I'm so happy to hear that being animated, right? Hearing their voices and seeing their gestures all together, really, really cute. All that culmination to conjure up this sort of spirit bomb, a tsundere spirit bomb, filled with just how much tsundere Karane really has, right? How much tsundere feelings she has holding within her. And in the end, when Rentaro just, give all that huge ball of energy back to Karane, then, well, welcome back, tsundere Karane. A celebration indeed that, yes, Karane is back, right? The climactic moments filled with so much emotions that just fills you in with more admiration and appreciation for the tsundere Karane that we all love, right? And also remembering all of those moments, just how precious seeing Karane be her usual tsundere self just means so much to the Rentaro family, and of course to us as readers, and to the watchers of this series as well, right? Celebration was held, super fun, and even having a bit of that funny moment in the end as well, right? It's a nice thing to add, and yeah, I just really love it. Which also then concludes just the first half of this episode. The first half of the final episode ends with the tsundere return chapter. Now, this arc concludes volume 6 of the manga, right? So, what will happen now? And then, from the moment, I swear, from the moment that I saw that scene of the girls on the rooftop, right? All of them are sitting together, or all of them are huddled up together in the rolled up carpet. They're talking about love stories. It then hit me. Holy they have brought it. The moment that every Hyakkano fan has looked forward to seeing being adapted. But when the time came during the episode that we expected it to come, right, the anime had missed it. And we had a lot of mixed emotions, myself included. Actually, here's a clip from my review of episode 7 that kind of tells the story of the whole thing, my emotions as well. And in hindsight, I'm really sorry for the spoiler back then already, fam. Is probably what most of you are feeling deep down inside, fam, right? For the sake of transparency, I don't want to deny the fact, right, that I too have felt this, right? Not really anger per se, but more on frustration, sadness to see that infamous chapter actually unfortunately being cut off from the Hyakkano anime storyline, right? And instead of just sitting around here just rambling about how sad I am, what's done is done, fam, right? They have indeed skipped the Rentaro's or the I Love You chapter, right, where all of the girlfriends took their turns to show their appreciation and show just how much they really love Rentaro for all that he's done, right? It's a chapter that came right after Iku's baseball match arc, right? And yeah, I am sad about it. Yes, I will acknowledge that. But does this ruin the entire Hyakkano anime because they left it out? Absolutely not, because either way, Hyakkano would still continue to follow through with this storyline, to which we actually already get to see Mimimi's debut. Actually, in fact, from the previous alone, showing both the karaoke chapter and the Mimimi's debut, we already knew this was coming. We already knew that that chapter has been, cut off, right? Although there's nothing we can do about, what they've chosen to adapt, right? Because in all honesty, fam, it's them, right? It's all them. It's all up to the production to do what they can do, right? But what at least I can do on my part is to just keep huffing on that last ounce of copium for the slight possibility for an OVA or a special episode dedicated to that very chapter. Trust, fam, trust. All I need is just a little bit of hope, right? Just a little bit of hope, Lord. Lord, give me one more. Give me strength. And holy did they actually make it happen? I was shaking. There is hope in this world, fam. There's hope. Because, you know what? After all, fam, this is Hyakkano indeed. Or rather, this is the team, the production behind Hyakkano after all. A team filled with a team that has produced a work of love, a labor of love for the series, for its creator, and for its audience. God, I am, wow, just at awe, really. I'm at awe how they were able to pull this off so smoothly. It really worked. And you know what? I couldn't think of a better ending, a better chapter to end and wrap up the final episode to the finale, in this finale, right? So, where do I begin, right? I guess let's start first by talking about what this chapter is again, right? And why it's so famous. And yeah, it's no exaggeration, I guess, to say that this chapter really contains a panel that is so mind-blowing that it has indeed put Hyakkano on everyone's radars, right? Again, so simply put, the chapter revolves around the girls talking about their romantic moments with Rentaro, and it comes a point in the discussion where they reflected on how much Rentaro means and has done for them, right? And they just wanted to say, I love you, back to him. Sort of a showing of love and gratitude to Rentaro, that sort of chapter. Each of the girls take their turns to earnestly express their love to Rentaro, and when it was Rentaro's turn to express and reciprocate that love, man, it has become a wonder indeed, an act of love to show and express his love to his girlfriends. His famous I love you speech, or as many people would call it, right? That's what I would call it, right? And yeah, man, just casually dropping one of the most intense and very detailed reasons, an entire paragraph, or dare I say short story, or almost like a novel long length reason why he loves each and one of his girlfriends so much, man. That is just incredible. I could go on and on about the amazing beauty of this chapter, which, you know, I even keep singing my praises about it many times in past videos. And as well, mind you, fam, that this chapter has actually came out right before Meme and Mimimi's debut, right? To which they even addressed that by pulling another insane fourth wall break moment, right? Showing the manga and all that, even mentioning about how it's anime's director before rearranging the chapters, it's kind of his quote-unquote fault, right? Or something. Yeah, hilarious stuff about the self-awareness, the level of self-awareness that they are, and to the point of even acknowledging that. Man, I love it. But still, at its very core, every one of the girls really took their turn to say, I love you, to Rentaro, right? Just absolutely very sweet and emotional moments that come straight from the heart, that basically expresses just how thankful they are for loving Rentaro so much. And if that sort of sounds familiar, or sorry, if you sort of translate it to, you know, Japanese, arigato, 大好きになってくれて世界一幸せにしてあげたよ彼女ですから The opening lines, or the chorus to the opening theme song of the 100 Girlfriends You Really Love You second season. Oh god, that was why that when I first heard that song, when I first heard that very line in the teaser, that made me so emotional. Because this opening theme song really does indeed harbor the theme and message from this very chapter. Or not only from this chapter, but throughout the entire episode, or throughout the entire series for that matter. That it's about a series showing how all of these characters are just so thankful and grateful for having someone to love them, right? To love one another. They found their place amongst their family, right? And God, yes, I am tearing up a bit, right? It's so incredible, just the attention of detail that this production has given to this anime. I really love it. Each one of their messages as well to Rentaro really also made me tear up from, again, how precious it was, and it means to me just seeing the amount of happiness from a scene, just from a story that can, from a scene from a story that can make, you know, really pull the heartstrings, right? It's mixed with a lot of hilarious bits as well, right? A lot of funny moments, but it's really just also the simple times that really also tug on your heartstrings as well. The fact that they've also adjusted to include original lines from both Mimimi and Meme, to also express how thankful they are to Rentaro, to also make them part of this entire story, of this entire chapter. Absolutely amazing, right? God, I just really, really love it. Even more than ever when it's being animated, the way that these voice actresses, you know, just spoke their lines, you can really feel this sort of genuine and very, you know, loving tone that they have to them, right? True characters who are really in love. That is what I seek. That is why I really enjoy this series. Just the amount of unfiltered love, not afraid to show their love, right? Because yeah, okay, sure, in a lot of romance series, right, it's understandable that yeah, it takes time to build a relationship. That's the entire story, right? Both of these male and female protagonists exchanging words of affirmation, right? But they haven't been dating yet. But with this sort of story where all of the characters are already in a relationship, being able to see and express that sort of love that they have with one another, right, is so good to hear. And yeah, from this, the reason from this that this sort of chapter pops out in the first place is it's been a long time since they've said I love you, right? All these girls took their turns to express that and sort of reaffirm that love once more, right? To reciprocate the feelings that they've harbored and to show Rentaro how grateful they are for loving them, right? And of course, Rentaro's response in turn to share those or to give back those feelings, right, will no doubt, right, no, there's no doubt that Rentaro will give his love back 100 times fold, and the girlfriends and in return as well, right? And that very speech itself, right, that Rentaro did, boy, it is beautiful to how they've animated it, right? Now, okay, here's the thing, fam. Here's the thing, right? I love the fact that they've sped it up, right? Because, of course, yeah, the time, and it also adds a sort of comedic aspect to it, right? But it was delivered very, very well, especially when you come to know the fact that Wataru Kato, the voice actor of Rentaro, right, actually read the entirety of this speech in normal speed, right, and was sped up for the sake of the anime. But from what I heard, in the Blu-ray version, right, you can actually hear the normal version or the normal sped version of this very speech, which again is super, super wild. The dedication of not only the animators or the directors, right, but the voice actors as well involved into creating something so beautiful is absolutely outstanding, right? I remember even when I myself also read aloud the entire speech as well, like, man, years ago,
to defend the order of this world. Kisori-senpai is when she's so tiny, and I love how Nano perfectly clears and unambiguously character, but at times can be pretty absent-minded. Next page! Where's the next page? There you go. And I love...
I really, oh god, I'm really curious to see how Wataru Kato, Rentaro's voice actor himself, also did the approach to that speech, man. Wow, because and speaking of, right, in hindsight, I also want to imagine too that besides Hakare, Karane, Shizuka, Nano, Kusuri, Hahari, Kurumi, Mei, and Iku, right, you know, I wonder if they've also added a bit of, you know, the I love you remarks for Meme and the Mimimi as well, right? If they've included them in the speech as well. Because if so, God, the dedication to it really is indeed immaculate. But I have no way of knowing because I haven't heard or I haven't watched it myself yet, right? But at least from the way that the speech was delivered in the final episode, yes, sure, it was sped up, right? But it was still really funny. And just to think about the entirety of the screen being filled up with the words, there's no, you can really tell just how much this man really loves his girlfriends, really loves his family. Wow, man, this is really indeed a chapter that really defines Rentaro as the paragon of all boyfriends, of all rom-com protagonists for that matter. Someone who's very genuine, strong, heartfelt, pure, and unwavering to pursue the happiness that he seeks for his family. You know, overall, fam, this entire season is absolutely another amazing work that really stands above just your usual, harem shows, right? It's another pillar of what really makes Hyakkano so lovable. Their comedy, right? Peak hilarious moments that really, take a crack at your funny bone. And trust me, fam, it just gets even funnier each chapter. It gets more funnier each time a new girlfriend is being introduced into the family. From the fourth wall break moments to the references from other animes, right? They are unafraid to go beyond what's more than just in the manga. And I'm very, very happy that the director, that everyone, the animators, have taken that sort of initiative, that drive to really, push on that sort of comedic aspect to the story. It's also very raw in showing a lot of these scenes of the girls interacting with one another, right? Really giving off and setting that sort of environment that everyone has been already so close. Everyone is really close with one another, and everyone are so loving with one another. And in that line, yes, the most important thing is really showing that love between each of the characters, and this anime has executed that aspect so beautifully. And wow, with an ending like that to all of them saying I love you, expressing their love, then cuts to this wide shot of the school, the country, to Japan, and then to the world. God, wow, just that silence that really got me. Like, it's over. Right, fam, it's over. Man, this is an incredible journey indeed. Everything about this, from the animation, the voice lines, the pacing of it as well, I'm really impressed. Sure, yep, there was that moment where I felt like, they skipped indeed a few chapters, right? But they really rebounded so well with the finale. And rightfully so, they've made a really amazing choice to do that. God, the Hyakkano hype train still continues on, especially with the release of the Hyakkano mobile game, to which I still cannot download it because in my country, right? And of course as well, I know this is also really old news, but I really have to touch on to it. The soundtrack of each of the girlfriend's own character songs during the karaoke chapter has been released. You can check it out on Spotify and YouTube and other streaming music streaming platforms and the like, right? I've been listening to it nonstop. All of their songs are so good. I really love it. Seeing the full version of Shizuka's song, heartwarming. Kusiri as well, everyone, and to also even include Meme and Mimimi's own songs as well. Although I really love it, God, this is an absolutely beautiful piece of art that really tugs at the heartstrings, really makes it so emotionally impactful, right? They've really done a good job to not only impress the readers of this manga, right? Because again, the whole fact that they're self-aware of their demographic, right? That's one thing for sure. But also, I think this also can appeal to a lot of other people as well, as evident by the amount of growing fans of this entire series, which I'm really happy to know. Yeah, just like that, it's over, right? For the anime, the second season of the anime at least, if they were able to pull off, announcing a third season, then I will continue to forever still be as excited and as happy as I am now, right? continuing on as well with more chapters. They're always so lovable. Each and every time a new chapter comes out, I always really love it. That last arc, especially with Nano, absolutely thrilling. And you know what? Again, I will always look forward to the future, to next week, the week after that, for more and more chapters to come out, more and more exciting news to look forward to as well from this series. And you know what, I couldn't think of a better time also to wrap up this entire video, but to say thank you so much, fam, not only for sticking around to watch these reviews of mine, to hear my thoughts about this, and for sharing your thoughts as well in the comment section, but from what I remembered, right, looking back, April 4th, 2021 is the day that I've sort of started this channel, right? So about 5 years of making videos on this channel on YouTube, talking about a series that I just really love. With that being said, thank you so much, fam, for all of your support, and I really just thank you, really, genuinely from the bottom of my heart. I love you all so much, fam. Take care, stay safe. Mwah.